Video in the house, and we're going to pick up on Comsol Volkswagen Challenge as our first category for the day's racing. This is an extremely competitive class and getting even more competitive, particularly at the front end of each of the categories. Class C, Class B and Class A have got some really talented drivers. We're going to pick up on Class C first and foremost. And LUAN ROOS has got some work to do with Voter ROOS on board as we head down into turn 1. LUAN on the inside, Elke van Vletter, the Bat Lady, is going to try and hang on in that Golf 1. 4-5 polos behind her. The Golf 1 not so slippery through the air. The box shape, unfortunately, not as aerodynamically sound as the polos, but you can see losing out, even though she was on pole position, to LUAN ROOS as they go through an X-Con corner for the first time. Duncan Murray and Andy Gosman side by side in the Golf 1's on board with another Golf man, Graham Savage. And he is right on CROUS. Look at this. This is great stuff. Drafting down that back straightaway and only into the first lap of racing. Voter hanging on to third place as they head up to the top of the hill, trying to close in on the Bat Lady. Elke van Vletter has got some work to do. She's got to really close things down in this championship. If she wants to, she's got to beat both of the ROOS boys. As they get up onto the braking markers, battle for fourth place heats up. Hard braking coming from behind. Sam Dell under massive pressure there. Savage putting the pressure on. CROUS is in there as well. And the NASCAR man, John Johnson. Problems, unfortunately, for the 33 car. Duncan Murray spinning out. And the Super Spark car as well of Adrian Ball. Oh, that's a big pity for him. Right, as we head down into turn 2 now, hard braking coming from behind. And you can see things are starting to get settled here in the Class C. Sam Dell hanging on for dear life. And he has to because he's got a hard charging CROUS on his tail. Looking back from Graham Savage, you can see John Johnson in the background there. Johnson's lost a little bit of ground here to the Golf, and let's see whether he's able to do anything about that as we get into the closing stages. Voter's caught onto the back end of the Bat Lady. Elke van Vletter is in some trouble, and I think Bat Lady might have her hands full. Voter's going to try something onto the brakes as they go up the inside here. Yes, indeed. Pulls out up into Sassel on the last lap. Can he get through? He's going to have to be very good on the brakes. Oh, but he is good. She's better. Round the outside, Elke just hangs on. That's great driving from both of them. And magic stuff to see that kind of competitiveness at the front end of this field. Sam Dell hanging on for a possible fourth place. Keeping Savage at bay. Keeping CROUS at bay. Can Savage sneak through here in the closing stages? We'll have to wait and see. Andy Gosman with some issues still on that polo. Not quite up to speed just yet. But great driving coming out of LUAN ROOS. Yet again, another victory for the young man. And the Nathan's Motorsport crew are going to take 1 and 3 with the Bat Lady in the middle of the sandwich there. Fourth place is Sam Dale. He managed to hang on. And in fact, Graham Savage just sneaks through there in the closing stages to beat out Shaun CROUS. It's John Johnson and Stuart Mack that make up the top 8. Let's head across into the pit lane and catch up with the Bat Lady.
Yes, I got a bit of a wheel spin on the start, and unfortunately LUAN got past me and he got really good traction, so he was like in front of me in turn 2, which resulted in Voter also getting close to me. So yeah, I think it was an awesome dice. I was in a polo sandwich for most of the race.
I think more of the same could be happening now as we head into Class A and B. Front end of Class A, got some new drivers involved in there. Stian Creel and Tasman Pepper have certainly thrown a couple of thorns amongst the roses there. There's no doubt about it. Or could it be roses amongst the thorns? Have to have a look at that in terms of Tasman's point of view. But Stian Creel is on pole as they head down towards turn 1. Aerial material there. Creel gets the drop and the whole shot and heads into turn 1 ahead of Tasman Pepper. James Hurley and Voldy Mikey's on their tail. Tasman already going on the attack as they go into turn 2. Coming out of turn 2 now, Stian Creel all the way from Cape Town, of course, the dealer principal for Imperial Kia, doing a super job and a welcome return to circuit racing, where he's been off for a while and playing around on the ovals. Coming out of turn 2 now, Van Sale on the inside of Adrian Wood. Adrian Wood just closes the door. Had to run out of that one. Speaking of running out, Harry Potter nearly ran out of talent there, and unfortunately it cost him. A little tap from Voldy Mikey's. Mikey's had nowhere to go as Potter tried to do a very late braking maneuver into turn 4. Didn't quite make its tick. It has cost Voldy Mikey's a little bit of ground, as you can see, but he makes it up under braking and has to go defensive as his good friend and arch rival comes alongside him. Look how close it is between those guys. That's fantastic stuff between Rory Atkinson and Mikey's. Same thing can be said here between Holiday. Look at him, looking for opportunities to sneak ahead and give these boys a run for their money. Van Sale keeps him at bay for now. Tries to go on the attack on the Laserfish car there of Adrian Wood, who's trying to close in on Nick Clark. And unfortunately, they're all trying to catch that man. Yes, a great job there from the Nathan's Motorsport man of Darren Nathan. Sneaking through and flying out of G&H Transport corner. A bit further back here, great to see that man back in racing as well. Leon Udendal in the lesser Zwartkops. And whoa! Michael Harris running wide onto the dirt. Yeah, he comes from Superbike racing, so he's not used to putting it onto the dirt, and Get a bit of a fright, I'm sure. Speaking of frights, whoa, hello! Look how close that was. Harry Potter got it completely out of shape, and he's got some serious issues on that car. James Hurley now losing out to Valdi Mikes and to Rory Atkinson as they went up to the top of the hill after that little mistake in turn 4. The Cashel Magnatech corner has seen some action here today, and we're seeing more of the same. Rory Atkinson, the hot racing machine got it out of shape there properly, and he was just, I think, losing a little bit of maneuvering as they went through turn 7. Mix FM are on board at turn 7 from this race, and they're certainly in the mix there, that's for sure. Coming out of G&H Transport corner now, the lead of Class B starting to heat up a bit as Nick Clark puts the pressure onto the back end of Nathan. Nathan's soaking it up big time, but I don't think it's going to be much more. He's got a hard charging Clark on his tail. Look at this little battle halfway through. Miele Stewart running with Brad Pitt-Hall in the Hellerman Titan car. And here's a maneuver on the inside. This is possibly for the lead. Yes! What a move! Sure! Tasman Pepper's got away, but second place is heating up properly here as Valdi Mikes just squeezes Stian Kriel out. Checkered flag is waiting. Tasman Pepper in the Campos Transport and Alpine Motors car is going to take the first victory of the day, and another lady on the podium. Great job for Taz. She beats out Valdi Mikes, who's just managed to squeeze Stian Kriel out. Class B, and that's how close it was for the Class Bs. Nathan coming through in the Nathan's Motorsport machine, beating out Nick Clark, and third place eventually going to Adrian Wood. There you can see confirmation of those top results in Class A. Tasman Pepper, Mikes and Kriel. Then it was Atkinson, James Hurley down in 5th, Smallberger, Piazza Musso and Wayne Krause. Darren Nathan took the honours in B ahead of Clark, Wood and Van Zyl, Brad Hall, Miele Stewart, Harris and Callitz. We caught up with Tasman Pepper down in pit lane to see how that first race went.
It was a good race. I mean, I eventually got through Stian on lap 2, I think it was, and I just put my head down and got consistent lap times and was able to pull a gap away from them. I mean, the team worked really hard overnight. Lee, my dad and Shane put together a motor. I blew a motor yesterday afternoon in practice.
Let's go straight from Class A to Class B. Darren Nathan's winner.
I managed to get a bit of a gap, although Clark did close the gap closer towards the end of the race, and by the end of the race he was on me. But yes, I managed to take the victory.
Class C is going to be hard fought for again, and I think we're going to see the ROOS boys, Elke van Vletter, CROUS and Dale going at it at the front end. And for Class C honours, we go on board with Shaun CROUS, headed down towards turn 1 from the start. A little bit of a manoeuvring being done there, and up the inside goes CROUS, but what a good move there from Elke. Managed to just squeeze through and just put 2 of the polos. In fact, Graham Savage went with her, so well done there. 2 Golf 1s up into 2nd and 3rd place on ROOS's tail. And I don't know what quite happened there with Vota. I think he might have been catching a little bit of a encyclopedia read there, because he was nowhere to be found on the start line. Graham Savage, though, was a great starter. And now on the tailpiece of the Bat Lady, trying to stay with her. Look at how things have turned out here. Completely different to what we saw in race number 1. Dale, though, is still in 4th place. That's where he was, but he'd like to be up in 3rd. And he's definitely going to give that Goldwagen car a run for its money. CROUS on his tail, then Vota ROOS. Further back there, it's Johnson. The rest of the field streamed through nicely, and Class C really getting to grips with things as they get up to the top of the hill now, under braking for the first time, and you can see just how these guys and girls are fighting for honours in this category. LUAN ROOS doing everything right, getting off the line, starting to open up a little bit of margin. You can see slightly different lines from the Polo and the Golf. The lady in the background there just not quite on song through Mix FM corner, now down into G&H Transport, up the inside. And there you can see, I was going to say, some evasive manoeuvring being done by Graham Savage, and unfortunately it's cost him dearly. Both him and Sam Dale off the circuit. Promoting Shaun CROUS up into 4th place. CROUS stayed out of it. He realised it was going to be an issue. He saw what was going to happen and just hit the brakes a bit earlier on and allowed those two to sort out their own problems. CROUS now up into 4th place as we go back to the lead. LUAN ROOS is under pressure. It looks like he's got a slightly better drive out of turn 2, 3 and 4, but by the time they get to the top of the hill, turn 2, some issues, as running wide goes Philip Cruiser. Fortunately there, he just got it all wrong. I was about to say though, Graham Savage didn't get this one right at all, just running ever so deep into the corner and got it completely wrong, taking both him and Sam Dale off the circuit and now back on track. LUAN ROOS, as I was going to be saying, is slightly quicker from turn 2, 3, 4, but then at the top of the hill, through this little twisty bit, it seems like the Golf has got a slightly better handling. Checkered flag is going to come out though. It's going to be too late though for the Bat Lady. She's going to have to deal with 2 seconds on the day. LUAN ROOS just cementing a double victory here and slowly but surely becoming a contender for the overall championship. ROOS takes it ahead of Van Vletter. Then ROOS eventually getting through to third place. A great drive from him to beat out Shaun, CROUS and Sam Dale, Stuart Mack, John Johnson and Graham Savage. And ROOS, a great job to get through the field.
It was absolutely magic this time. I fell asleep on the start. So I started in pole position and I ended up 6th in turn 3. But that makes the racing interesting. So we had a very clean session from there. But great fun for a Thursday afternoon.
Some Dunlop tyres on these cars and get them ready now for race number 2 in Class A and Class B. Tasman Pepper has been dominant at the front end. Can anybody find something special to get through and spoil her day? So head down towards turn 1. It's a good start from Mikey's Rory Atkinson in second place, trying to keep the rest of the field at bay as they head into what would probably be sunset corner here as the sun starts to set in the background. Tasman Pepper's in third, looking to get up on the inside of Atkinson. Harry Potter around the outside as Hurley. Oh! A little tap from behind. Steven Kriel has sent Pepper into a sideways spin. And here comes Adrian Wood in Class B. You can see a couple of guys having to take evasive action. This is Atkinson coming back onto the circuit. So he's miles behind now. Rory has got a huge mountain to climb. Valdi Mikey's has basically got this done and dusted. So has Devin Piazza Musso and possibly even the Sabertech Beetle there of Derek Smallberger. 1, 2 and 3 should pretty much remain the same. I don't think we're going to see any maneuvering coming out of these guys, Gavin Ross and of course Wayne CROUS in the King Price insurance car. Closing in here on Gavin Ross at Sassel. As they come out there, they both survived that incident down in turn 2. Let's have a look at it from on board the King Price insurance Polo. Oh, just left-right evasive action. Well done there for just missing out on James Hurley. James Hurley nearly cut the nose off on Wayne CROUS. He saw it happening and just turned in very, very drastically to get away from it. But there are some top contenders now out of this hunt for Class A. Class B currently being led out by Adrian Wood. A great drive from him. Oh, and problems in the background as well. A couple of cars going missing. The Ultron car getting completely out of shape there. Oh, that is not how you want to be ending the day, Andre Needham. And the red flag, unfortunately, has been brought out, so it'll be a full restart. Can we see everybody get back into the action? Original grid positions, and down towards turn 1 goes Class A. Class B just behind them. Mikey squeezes everybody out and keeps them at bay as they head down into turn number 2. Good start once again from Piazza Musso, Derek Smallberg. Oh! We had Class A action, now we got Class B action. Nick Clark coming together there with Adrian Wood. Adrian Wood managing to hang on incredibly and keep them both out. So well recovered there, young man. The karting has certainly helped you out, and a bit of a baptism of fire into this category. And now all of a sudden starting to come into your own. Valdi Mikey's pulling away from the rest of the field to the tune of a couple of seconds up the road from Piazza Musso, Derek Smallberger and James Hurley on their tail. Tasman Pepper's in the mix as well, but I'm not quite sure if she's going to be able to get to the front end of this field by the end of the 10 laps. Mikey's large and in charge, getting away and definitely doing some damage to this championship at the front end. Tasman Pepper is losing the grip that she has had on this category for Class A. Checkered flag comes out. Hurley is going to be there in 4th place. As they come through now, look at Nick Clark. Oh, it's 1 for 1 here. Can we see a bit of rubbing and racing? Yes, indeed. Oh, he just forces his way through. Darren Nathan with no answer as Nick Clark just came through like a hot knife through butter and managed to squeeze out and brought along a very hard-charging Adrian Wood. He's gone from 1st place into 3rd, but Darren Nathan will know that this championship is not won by this checkered flag. There's still a lot of action to come. Confirmation of the results there in Class A. Mikey's wins out over Devin Piazza Musso, Derek Smallberger and James Hurley, with Rory Atkinson down in 5th place. CROUS, Ross and Pepper in 8th. That was on the combined results of the 2 starts, remember, as is Class B. Adrian Wood getting the overall ahead of Nick Clark and Darren Nathan, with Van Sale, Stewart, Holiday Jr., Hall and Smith the top 8. It's 15 points in it right now, with Darren Nathan leading over Nick Clark, Elke van Vledder. LUAN ROOS, as I said, moving through nicely, and he brings Tasman Pepper along for the ride, so very close for 3, 4 and 5. We caught up with Valdi after race 2.
Started in 1st position again, had a very good race, closed or pulled away from the guys and kept it, so from flag to flag.
Class B winner Nick Clark, and nice drive from him as well.
I managed to just get close enough to him in the last two, 3 corners. He went up the inside, I stuck it out the outside, and then I got on the power early and cut up the inside of him, and then there was kind of no space for him to be around the outside of me around turn 6, so I ran him a bit wide, and then unfortunately he bumped and he came 3rd, but otherwise racing's racing.
The racing was phenomenal.